I created the world's hardest workout, and now I'm training to complete it. The workout is called the Hercules, and no one's ever done it before. I'm gonna be the first person in the world to do it. Here's what it is. In under 60 minutes, you have to do these 8 things in order. Deadlift 500 pounds, then run a sub 5-minute mile. Squat 400 pounds, then run a sub 5-minute mile. Bench press 300 pounds, then run a sub 5-minute mile. Strict overhead press 200 pounds, and then finish with another sub 5-minute mile. Now, in order to do this, I'm gonna have to be an elite runner and an elite weightlifter. I'm gonna have to have elite speed, endurance, and strength. So it's gonna require pretty intense training. So what I'm gonna do today is give you a look into my life as I train, diet, and recover for the Hercules, while also balancing being a father, a husband, and a guy with a full-time job. So I hope you enjoy the video. I plan on putting out a lot more of these, so I hope you enjoy and come back for more. Excited today because it's Friday, so even if I'm feeling a little tired, it's one day closer to the weekend, eating at a really cool place called the Lonesome Dove in Austin today with some friends for the prime rib special, so really excited about that. Gonna finish my banana, hop into the warm-up, and then get after the chest here because I've got a 300-pound bench press in the Hercules workout, and I'm tall, so I've got long, skinny arms and kind of a thin chest, so trying to build that out. Really excited about the workout today. Let's get after it. So I try to drink at least 1.5 gallons of water a day. That comes out to roughly 1 ounce of water per 1 pound of body weight for me. It's 6 a.m. and I'm almost done with this gallon here. You can see I just wake up, drink a lot of water before my workout, during my workout, right after my workout. I pour my protein shake out of this too. So this is pretty crazy. I'm only 2 hours into my Friday and I'm already like 70% of the way done with my first gallon. So I thought that was pretty funny. Just wrapped up my work for this morning. I'm on my way to meet some friends for lunch. We're going to a place called the Lonesome Dove here in Austin. It's a game to table restaurant. It's supposed to be really good. A lot of people have talked about it before. I've heard great things. I've actually never been, so I'm really excited. Gonna meet 2 or 3 of my buddies for the Friday lunch special, which is prime rib. So really excited to eat that. Yeah, report back. I will report back on how the food is, how everything is. All right, just got done with lunch. Prime rib was amazing. Brussels sprouts, had to be the dankest Brussels sprouts I've ever had. They were fantastic. Highly recommend Lonesome Dove if you're ever in town and want to get the Friday lunch special. I think it's called the soon-to-be famous prime rib. It's a hilarious name. But got something I want to talk to you guys about. So this whole talking to a camera, flexing with my shirt off, working out shirtless, and then putting it on the internet for strangers to see is new to me. And so it came up at lunch, you know, my transformation that I did over 75 days, and they were just asking me like how I did it, and they were talking with me about it, and then I told them all about the Hercules and how I committed to doing that by the end of this year. I'm like, I'm gonna do it, mark my words. And they're like, we believe you, we think you can. And it would have been the perfect opportunity for me to tell them, hey, I've got a YouTube channel. I'm actually documenting it. I'm, you know, showing people behind the scenes of the story. These are like some of the most supportive guys I know. Like, I've known one of them since I was like, you know, 13 years old, so more than half my life. But I didn't tell them, and I'm kind of kicking myself. But at the same time, you know, I got to show myself grace. It's okay. Like, I never once imagined I would be like posting shirtless pictures of myself on the internet flexing, or working out in athletic shorts, shirtless at 4 o'clock in the morning in my in-laws' gym, and posting those videos on the internet. This was never in my life plan. So it's all still very new to me. But I just thought, man, what an opportunity I missed to tell these guys, because I know all of them would have gone and subscribed to this channel, and they would have supported me like the good friends they are. So Eric, Kurt, and James, if you guys ever see this, just know I wanted to tell you guys about this channel. I'm sorry I didn't mention it to you at lunch, but you know, here's your shout out. So I love you guys. Thanks for a great lunch. All right, so this is insane. I'm trying to log the nutrition facts so I can track my macros for the lunch that I just had. And the prime rib alone, assuming it was 16 ounces, has 1,548 calories, 123 grams of fat, 0 carbs, and then 104 grams of protein. That's literally like 500 calories less than what I'll eat in an entire day. And it's only the meat part of my lunch. Doesn't include the twice baked potato, doesn't include the Brussels sprouts, doesn't include the appetizer that I had, which was rabbit rattlesnake sausage with like this hash brown on top of it. So the prime rib alone has put me way over my you know, caloric intake that I was shooting for today. But it's fine. It happens. Again, no such thing as a perfect diet. I'm not going to sacrifice a fun lunch like that out with friends, all in the name of you know, cutting back on calories. I'll be fine going forward, but I just had to share that with you guys. I thought that was insane. All right, I just rewatched that last bit, and super not cool that I have gum in my mouth. So let me spit that out. Sorry if you guys are still watching this video and you made it through that. But in case you're wondering, yeah, I work out of a doctor's office. So you can look around here. Yeah, this is my office where I work every day when I'm in town. I work for a remote tech startup that's based out of California, and I'm here in Austin. So obviously we don't have offices, which means I either work at home or I work out of somewhere else. And with a kid, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old at home, impossible. For any of you with young kids, you know it's not possible to work at home. So what I was doing for a while was I would go to Whole Foods, like like their deli section, you know, where you get your food and then you check out and you go to eat. I would work there for 8 or 9 hours a day. And then I'd get tired of that. And then I'd go to Panera Bread and I'd sit in a booth and I'd work there for 8 or 9 hours a day. And then at some point I was like, I'm just exhausted of working from these places. I need a change. So my mom is a doctor. And so she actually offices out of like a local chiropractic office, and they had a location down south near where I live with vacancy. And she asked the CEO if I could have an office, and he said, sure. So shout out to the folks over at ProCare. You guys are awesome. Brent, And Neil, thank you for giving me this office space. I get to be out of here for free. And so, yeah, every time I get on a Zoom call, it's really funny because you can kind of see like the corner of the bed and the pillow in my square, at least until I blur my Zoom tiles. People are always like, are you in a doctor's office? I'm like, I actually am. Yeah. I work for a remote AI tech startup, and I work out of a doctor's office. But yeah, hey, it's better than me paying $600 out of my own pocket for a 6 by 8 foot co-working space somewhere else. So yeah, this is my lot. I've chosen it, and I'm really happy with it. I also have a nice little view of the frontage road to 290 out there. So yeah, now you guys have seen my office. Outside in the parking garage, sitting on my tailgate, eating an apple, getting some sun, breaking up the day. I want to talk to you guys real quick about how I'm thinking about Hercules, specifically in 4 different ways when it comes to training, dieting, recovering, and then balancing fatherhood and being a husband. So let's start with my diet. The way I'm thinking about it is I want to get down to about 7% body fat before I start to really kind of crank up the strength training and the muscle building. And here's why. Running a sub 5-minute mile is really intense. I don't want any excess weight on me when I try to do that. Now I'm gonna have to do that not once, but actually 4 different times within an hour. So any extra weight needs to be gone. So I'm trying to lean down right now from about 8.5% body fat, which I'm at today, to about 7%. So I should be there soon. So what that means for my diet is that I'm high protein. I don't want to lose any muscle, and low carb, low fat, right? Because I'm going to be at like I have been at like a 200 to 500 caloric deficit each day, probably more towards the 400 to 500 end of that range every day. So I'm trying to like lose that fat as quickly as possible, eat a ton of protein, make sure that my body doesn't lose any of the muscle. And then once I hit that 7%, I want to start hitting strength training, powerlifting, mass building hard, because at 180, which will probably be what I end up weighing when I'm at 7% body fat. Remember, I'm 6'3.5", so that's a very, very lean frame. At 180, a 500-pound deadlift is going to be pretty intense. So I'm going to need to put on some mass to be able to do that. And then again, I'm 6'3.5", and so I've got long arms. So that 300-pound bench press is going to be hard too. So I'm going to have to really hit strength and mass training hard. So it's important for me over the next few weeks to get to that 7% body fat as quickly as possible. Then once I get there, flip my diet to have like a 200 to 500 calorie per day surplus. So that way I can put on the mass. So that way my body's not as tired. I can get through the workouts. I have energy. And when it comes to training, kind of like I already mentioned, once I hit this 7% figure, I really want to ramp up the powerlifting. I want to join this local powerlifting gym, get involved, get a coach, join groups, work on my form, and really try to maximize pounds lifted per pounds weighed, right? So if I'm 180, I want to be able to lift at least, 2.5, 3 times my body weight on the deadlift. I'm going to have to if I want to get to 500 pounds. And so that's going to require good form, good training every single day, along with some mobility for my hips and my legs and my shoulders. So really going to try to work that in over the next few weeks once I hit that 7% figure. And then when it comes to recovering, I am shooting for at least 6 hours of sleep every night, right? So I'm waking up at 4 a.m. every single day. I really just sleep in on Sundays, and my body then wakes me up around 5 to 6 anyways. So that means, if I'm waking up at 4, I'm in bed by, at the latest 10 o'clock. I try to shoot for 9 if I can, but sometimes with work, with other responsibilities, with kids, it just doesn't happen. So, if I don't get that 6 hours of sleep, then I'm just groggy and my body doesn't have enough time to recover. That's a really important principle of putting on weight and putting in advancing in strength training, is to let your body recover. So that's an important pillar for me. And then also balancing fatherhood and being a husband, right? So I've got 2 little kids. I've got a 2-year-old who's almost 3, and then I've got a 1.5-year-old. And these guys, I love them to death, but they're a lot, right? They take a lot of time and a lot of energy to care for. So I make sure I'm there for them, right? In the mornings, in the afternoons. My wife is amazing. She supports me so much, and she really helps me in the mornings. She gives me time to do my workouts, to get my shower in, to get my meal prep in. But you know, also she also has her own stuff to do. So it's important to me that I'm able to be there for her and watch the kids, because the most important things in the world to me is being a dad and being a husband. And none of this matters. Hercules is worthless if I am a worthless dad and a worthless husband. So they absolutely come first. So yeah, that's kind of the 4 pillars: training, dieting, resting, recovering, balancing. I think I said 5, but resting and recovering, same thing. So that's how I'm thinking about it. I'm excited to share more with you guys over the coming days, weeks, and months as I tackle the Hercules. Yeah, no, totally. I don't know. I mean, I think we can do that. Like, I'd love to, but the reality is I don't know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. See you later, man. It's 4:57, which means it's almost the weekend. And just like that, it's the weekend, baby. Headed home. I think we have a little play date scheduled at a playground at this burger place for Caleb's school. So probably going to meet up with Amy and the boys over at Hat Creek. Let Caleb play with some kids from his school. And then probably go home, call it a day, start editing this video.
How's it going?
You see a bird? What do you see up there? Oh, he thinks that broom is a bird? Hilarious.
Oh, that's your firefighter hoodie.
How's your shake, dude? Oh, cold shoulder to daddy, huh? This is so bad. We're giving our 2-year-old a sip of Diet Dr. Pepper. Shame on us. All right, that wraps up a long day, fun day, good day. Belly's still full from that prime rib I had at lunch. But probably going to call it quits here. Might do some editing and then hit the hay and get back after it tomorrow. So see you guys in the next video.